Hey, all you devs, game devs out there, let's take a look at what we did wrong on this sarcophagus first. Let me get rid of the cube that we used a second ago. All right, so if I come back in here and I'll turn on my wireframes, first thing we're going to need to do is break it back down to the simplest form, which will be the quads. But, I'm sorry, the 1/4 of it I'm going to do from here probably to this edge right here. Actually, I may do it to here. Because if I mirror it this way and I only have it to here, it's gonna stop right here. So I need to have that third one. So I need to cut it in half, and then I need to cut it in half this way too. But I want to talk to you about what I did wrong first. Okay, so the thing with Turbo Smooth, the way it's gonna work and the way we're gonna high res our stuff is it needs to have quads. And this is the whole purpose of quads anymore. It's just to be able to navigate through some stuff. And if we look really close at what I've got here, I don't have quads everywhere. I mean, I have some cuts that are just terminating in the middle of nowhere. So if I move this around, you'll see it's just kind of there. It's making its own faces and stuff. I need to have that connect. I have one over here, and then I think I actually have a couple of them that aren't even, yeah, these two aren't even put together, snapped. And then the biggest stuff that's going to take the longest to clean up is the way I did the interior, and I pulled and stuff like that. There are other ways to do it, and if you want me to, I can show you the other ways to do it now in hindsight, but let's just clean it up because let's assume we did it this way and we'll go from there. Okay, so like I said, the first thing we probably want to do is cut it in half and cut it in 1/4 and then look at cleaning up some of the stuff. Okay, one of the things I could actually do is do just this quad right here, or this area right here with this in half, duplicate it, delete that half. I mean, there's a couple ways I could go about this, but we'll get, when we start repeating stuff, I'll decide at that point. Okay, so I'm going to go to 4, go to the F4, or just 4, I'm sorry, for the quad mode or polygon mode, my brain. I'm going to go to front facing, make sure I have the 45 off and the back face, ignore back facing off, and grab it. This, delete, go to left, I'm sorry, VR for right, because I built it on the right like I told you guys not to do, and go there, and I'll take a look and make sure I've got everything I want right. One of the first things I'm going to do is get rid of this because that's really ugly and I'm going to want to do something about that anyway. And then now you can see what I'm talking about. There's diagonals everywhere too. We really want these to be straight because as I start doing cuts and stuff, they're going to want to be even across. So for real quick, I'm going to grab this first one and go Alt-R. And you can see right here, I actually didn't even connect this edge there or this edge there. Because when I built it, I did it after I built the extrusion out. So really simple. All I have to do is connect, and I don't even have to. I just want to make sure I hadn't done any settings, but you can just say connect without even doing anything else and say okay, because it should pretty close to where it needs to be. So I'll grab this and drag it down, and then I'll take vert mode, grab both these. Oops, didn't mean to move them. Grab that one and this one and this one, and then go to connect. And mine is a shortcut. So if you see me do this fast, next time if you see 2 verts selected and it just pops together, that's because I'm using a shortcut. All right, so another one is up here, and you can see that it just terminates there and it terminates there. It really needs to go straight forward. Now this is the one that made me realize, oh crap, I probably shouldn't have done it this way, because now it's going off like that. And if I look at it in the transparent and I go to the top, you'll see that this vert might cut right through. So if I take this, for example, and I go real quick, again, connect, like that. And actually one more thing I'm going to do, I didn't mean to put the menu up there. I'm going to grab top 4. I'm going to get rid of the interior flat plane in here too, because it's really not needed. I might even get rid of the middle so I can get it done faster, and then I can always, you saw how fast we pulled this out. This is pretty fast. So let's go to angle real quick and get rid of any, and turn off back facing, get rid of any we don't want there and delete them. That way we have less to clean up. It's easier to build it if they're straight. If I had straightened these out from the beginning and then built it, it might have been a little bit cleaner. Okay, so, and you notice since I have to do it here, I have to do it here, and I have to do it here. And that's what I was talking about, duplicating this and putting it over there. But that's fine. We'll deal with that next. Let's first deal with straightening these suckers out. So if I do that now, oops, wrong one. If I say I want that to terminate, which I did, and then I have these 2 verts right here, one, and oops, I grabbed the wrong ones. This one, and bam. Okay. The only thing is that it's still kind of going diagonal, and that, that means I have to make a polygon that's weird, and I'm gonna collapse them eventually anyway. But for my high res stuff, it may just be a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of these. The trick is you find the ones where it starts going diagonal, which is up here only, and you only select those. So I'm gonna just deselect this stuff down here. Look at this. I don't want this one, and let me show you what happens if I do straighten out with this one. Like, let's say I go, actually, I guess I should have done one line like this. Let's say I leave that one selected and I just try and straighten out these edges. It's going to take this one and push it over wherever it goes, like that. And that's really what I want to keep is this straight. Looks like I had another one selected anyway. All right, so I don't want to select that one. You want to select the last edge or vertice that is not connected to the straight one. So you don't want to grab the one that's connected to the straight one. You want to grab the one that's not connected to the straight one, the last one, right after it's connected to the straight one. And then if I push X, all I have to do is slide it over. And this one worked out pretty good. And if you want, you can double click it again and check. I mean, this diagonal is fine because it's going to be in there. And I am going to do this too because it's easier to get rid of this than try and fight with that try every time. So I did that. And now I have that straight. And now the problem is I have to do with all of them. And it's work, but it's not such bad work that you could, pull your hair out. Or you could collapse them down, but then you have to fight with the tries and stuff. Since I want to do divisions, I might just leave them like this for now. In fact, I'm even going to cut back even more and grab all those and delete them. Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of everything because I'm going to have to redo it anyway and find another way to do it. And like I said, I'll show you that in class. Now all I have to really do is clean up this, move it over, clean up this one, and eyeball it. I just kind of want it eyeballed like that. For me, it's good enough. Grab this one. These last ones are the trickier ones, but that's fine. I can probably drag those straight over too, or I can just get rid of one of these edges, but see if I get rid of it, I lose this. So we're going to leave that. And the big reason I'm doing this is I want to be able to grab whole areas. Now, if I do go back to edge mode, and when I turbo smooth this, it's going to be weird, but let me show you what's going to happen. If I put on Swift Loop and I just roll over this, you'll see it'll go all the way around till it gets to the problem try down here. If I go to this one now, let's say on the outside where this is connected, and it looks like I still have some holes. So, we're going to go through and just clean them up. I want to be able to do the whole loop. Like if I take this one right here and do a Swift Loop on it, you see how it goes all the way around it? That's what we want, because that way when we smooth it, we don't lose some of this edge, we just soften it a tiny bit. Back over here and get rid of this one too. Okay, so one of the other problems we have with this loop is that this guy is a try. So how do you get rid of that try? Well, I noticed earlier that this and this aren't even connected. They're actually two different faces. If I grab this, I never connected them. So I'm going to grab those two and I'm going to collapse them like that. And then I'm going to grab, I think, actually, it doesn't even have an edge over there, so we'll deal with that next. But I'm going to grab this guy like that and not select that one and pull this up. And what I'm going to do is cheat, because cheating is okay. So what it means is I'm going to take this vert right here and I'm going to make it cut across there and then get rid of this face. So easiest way to do that is just to backspace for, this is the same thing as remove, is backspace. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab these two edges, or this edge, and just grab a box like that and then say connect. And then in this case, I am going to bring up the tool. I mean, I'll just do it the other way. I got to get used to using Swift Loop. So I'm going to Swift Loop it right there. Now I have a Swift Loop. Now all I have to do is take these two edges right here and make sure they're lined up a little bit better. So I'll go back to front, line them back up, and connect those two. Now, when I do Swift Loop, it'll go all the way around the whole thing. The other problem I did notice is that this up here is really tight. So I'm going to fix that real quick. I'll go like this. Make sure I don't have any, yep, happy duty, howdy doody little extroverts. Back to front, drag it down. Now I could drag these two and then straighten everything else out, but I'm just going to drag the top down, and if it's a little bit of an off, that's fine. I just want some room in here. And then I need to do the same thing I did with that other edge right here, and you'll see it goes all the way. The great thing is if it terminates weird, you'll get able to select that edge really easy. So there's a way of selecting it. If I go to Swift Loop, I just kind of get it right there. I go to one, I grab these two, I connect them, and there we go. So what have I done? If I say Swift Loop now, let me go to edge here, and I do this, you'll see that it goes all the way around. And if I go to this one, it should, unless I did miss one here. In this case, I'll just do this. We'll make our life even easy. Like that. Do one, grab these two. This is why Swift Loop's better in some ways, a lot of ways. It's just fast. Okay. See if I have any other. Oh, we have another weird one down here that I didn't fix yet. This one's funny because it's got another division right here already. So what I might just do is double click, click this, go R for ring, not select these guys and this guy, and then just collapse them, because what it's going to do is going to take those two verts and find a middle between them, and it's going to give me the quad that I was looking for. So let me show you. So if I say collapse, oops, if I click collapse, it'll do that. Oh, it looks like I grabbed an extra one too. I can make sure I don't grab that one. I don't have that one. Okay. Collapse like that. Something close to where we are, we have to take these two edges right here and say backspace to remove them. And then we can do Y so it's straight. And there we're done. Okay, let's try that Swift Loop again. All the way around, no problem. All the way around, no problem. I'll need to do the same thing here. Should go all the way around, no problem. And all the way around, no problem. So let's look again why I'm doing this. I'm going to put a turbo smooth on this, and it's going to go all the heck. So that's fine. That's what we're looking for. All the heck. It's all soft and, it's so pretty. No, it's not. It's just horrible. So I'm going to deselect. I'm going to turn off my edge loops. Maybe I have. One second. Okay, you're being stupid. Edge faces off. Okay, what are you doing? My shortcut stopped working, I think. Yeah, I don't know why. Cap lock's on or anything. It's being stupid. All right, so let's go back down here. And if I go to edge mode, you'll see that the original shape is still there for me. I can turn this off so I can see the final. I can turn it on. Okay, so I'm going to turn this back up all the way. So watch what happens. This smoothed out small little bevel that we have is now gone. So all that sharp edge. So all I have to do is go back to Swift Loop, grab this edge here, and it's going to have some little finagling, and I'll show you how to fix that in a second. Let me do this one first. So if I click on Swift Loop, boonk, it made it sharper right there. But you see how it's tighter up here and wider down there, and if it goes all the way around, kind of on the same way. Well, we can fix that by holding Control and Alt and selecting that line and moving it. And whichever one it gets closer to when you move it along the line is the curve it's going to try and match. And you'll see now it's much better. Okay. So, and then I can go up here. This is the one we were talking about, really. I go up here and I just say click. And then if I do the Alt Control thing again, I can move it so it's a little bit tighter to what we want. And then I can come around to this one real quick and do one for the corner and one for the edge. So while I do now have sharper edges here and here, I still don't have a sharp edge up in here. So how do I fix that? Same thing, really. You can do it by dividing this edge here. you know, and decide if that's enough for you. And if there's a loop, it should go all the way, but since I didn't, it won't. And if it did, you can go all the way here. Now, the only issue that you may get, and I'll show you, is now this sucker is tight. So really what you need to do is smooth those out. And you can do that either by going to 1, grabbing those verts, locking it to edge mode, and moving it up, and moving this one down, basically giving it more place to divide. And then you probably could take the edge mode off and move this one out a little bit. And if I grab that interior one, which I didn't, real quick, edge up in the middle of this, something like that, edge, up in the middle of this, something like that. Turn off, because now it's still keeping it straight, but turn off that edge mode, and then I can grab and pull it up just a little bit, eyeball it if I need to. I must have ignored back fixing on you. And move it up like that. And then I can, or I can terminate it. There's that too. And then I can turn that off, and let's see what we get. See, now we have that smooth, and it's still smooth in this area in here. We've got the little bit of a bevel on the side. It's very nice right there. We just have to do it to this corner, because this corner's working great. This corner's not. This is why we end up calling it high res, because you end up cutting everything so you have double line. But then if we look at the actual mesh, you'll see that it's just much more resolution, since it's dividing everything you do at least once, if not twice. Now if I turn off the there, you'll see how sharp that looks, how nice that looks, and how perfect that looks. The other option, and I'll show you this real quick before we quit this talk, is, and then we'll come back to it, is this guy right here. Like I said, you can just do swift loop like that, and then come up here to get, I'm really worried about this corner, right? So this one and that one. And then I have the problem of that edge like we talked about. So it's beautiful until it gets to there, because now it's keeping that polygon tight. What you could do is try and that. Let me get rid of all these actually. There you go. So pull back out, look at it. Now we've got a smooth edge. It's a little bit easier to get to that point if you do it that way. You know, you just get a try, not a big deal. Just kind of does this weird dance right there, where here it's really smooth. It depends on what you're looking for, and really this high res version is never going to be used for unwrapping or anything. We're going to actually unwrap the low res version. But that's why we're cleaning it up. Before we start turbo smoothing, we need to start cleaning it up. And then it also makes our unwraps easier, because our islands will be bigger. All right, that's all for now.